I've coached world-class icons how to speak, move, and dominate attention. But you walk into a room and everything rearranges itself without you lifting a finger. And that terrifies me in the best way. You don't raise your voice. You don't chase validation. You don't perform. And yet, every eye finds you like gravity decided you were its new center. I've taught people how to command respect with posture and tone, but you do it by simply existing, as if silence itself bends around you. There's something unsettling about how you don't need permission, applause, or explanation. Your presence alone tells people where they stand. I've seen legends rehearse confidence, but yours isn't rehearsed. It's settled, rooted, ancient, like you've already survived what others are afraid to face. You don't announce yourself, yet the room knows you're there before you speak, as if energy recognizes energy before language ever gets involved. I've trained leaders to control conversations, but you control atmospheres. And that's a power most people don't even know exists. You don't dominate by force. You dominate by restraint, by choosing not to react, by letting others reveal themselves while you remain unreadable. I've watched people study charisma like a science, but you carry it like a curse. Effortless, unavoidable, impossible to ignore. When you enter a space, people don't lean in to hear you. They straighten up, unsure why they suddenly feel exposed. I've taught icons how to own a stage, but you don't need a stage. Everywhere you stand becomes one. You don't compete for attention. Attention competes to understand you and usually fails. There's a quiet authority in you that doesn't ask, doesn't demand. It simply assumes, and the world complies. I've seen people fake confidence with volume, but you whisper with your eyes and still leave people unsettled. You don't command rooms by speaking louder. You do it by listening less and observing more. I've coached people to control their image, but you don't curate yourself. You allow others to project, and that's far more dangerous. You don't need to prove intelligence. Your pauses say more than most people's speeches. I've watched power-hungry minds exhaust themselves chasing dominance, while you sit still and let dominance come find you. You don't interrupt conversations. You end them simply by looking up. There's something intimidating about how you don't rush to be understood, as if you're perfectly fine being misunderstood by everyone except yourself. I've trained people to speak with certainty, but you move with it, and movement never lies. You don't fill silence because you know silence works for you, not against you. I've seen icons crumble when attention fades, but you become more powerful the quieter the room gets. You don't chase relevance. Relevance orbits you quietly, hoping you'll notice. I've taught confidence as a skill, but in you, it feels like a consequence of knowing exactly who you are. You don't intimidate intentionally. That's the terrifying part. It's just a side effect of clarity. I've watched leaders rehearse dominance, but yours shows up naturally when you choose not to explain yourself. You don't need approval. Your indifference to it is what makes people desperate to give it. There's a stillness in you that makes chaos uncomfortable and noise feel unnecessary. I've coached people to control rooms with words, but you do it with timing, and timing is everything. You don't speak to impress, you speak to conclude. I've seen people perform confidence for applause, but you wear yours like armor that doesn't need polishing. You don't react quickly because you don't need to. You already see the outcome before others finish talking. I've taught icons how to be memorable, but you're unforgettable without trying. You don't announce your boundaries. People sense them and step back instinctively. There's something disarming about how calm you remain while others spiral for control. I've trained leaders to project certainty, but you radiate it by knowing when to remain silent. You don't rush to fill space because you understand that space listens to you. I've seen confidence built from praise, but yours seems built from solitude. You don't chase dominance, you allow others to surrender it. There's a weight to your presence that makes even confident people second guess themselves. I've coached people to demand respect, but you receive it without asking. You don't speak often, which makes every wish feel intentional, measured, and irreversible. I've watched icons rely on visibility, but you rely on inevitability. You don't explain your power because explaining it would weaken it.